This is why you died.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to This Is Why You Died, the horror show that chooses prompts at random from our 666 words and phrases in our buckets of the beast, and then we come back and review those movies that we pick from those right here for you, our dedicated listeners. This is our first episode of 2026.
Woo!
Or should I say, year one. Year one of his mighty reign.
So good, so good.
We actually kind of started 60 years ago in 1966. Or maybe when it started when they shot the gorilla. I don't know. But anyway, all I know is I am Sir Ian Dangerous, a.k.a. your Uncle Frank. And joining me, as always, are my fellow Coven members, the macabre Dan Marcha Madness, and the mercurial Ryan Ross. Live. Happy New Year's, boys!
Happy New Year's!
We're in our third year of the podcast, like calendar-wise.
That's true.
Calendar-wise,
that is
yes.
true. Yes.
Calendar-wise,
Yes.
we've reached our third
We
year.
started in 24.
My
Yep.
God.
Wow.
I didn't even
It's flown by.
Isn't that
realize
weird?
That
Yeah,
is
it's weird.
That's weird.
That's weird. That's weird. That's a perfect opportunity to tell everyone and go tell everyone. If you're listening to our show right now, go tell everyone you know to check out this show. We're a lot
Experience
of fun.
something new in the new year, right?
Yeah. Experience something new. Reach out, touch someone, follow yourself. I mean, we like
With
follows, we like
consent.
shares.
Touch
We
people
like
with consent.
Yeah, with consent. Ask them if you can reach out and touch them with the gift of our show. This is why you died. And of course, if you are already a listener and you enjoy the show, we do have a lot of ways you can interact with us. Dan, tell them where they can find us, please.
Beacons.ai/TIWYD pod. You can get stuff like our merch store. I'm wearing the hoodie right now. You can find all of our socials. You can stream us wherever you'd like, and also find our YouTube and Patreon, which Ryan can tell us about.
Yeah,
Honestly,
Ryan.
Leading into this, I want you guys to know over the break, one of my best friends in the world who I love more than anything, he described me as long as he's known me, he's considered me a carnival barker. And I feel so called out and slightly seen and a lot of conflicted. But on the carnival barking note, ladies and gentlemen, we have a Patreon. But we have a ton of amazing perks on the Patreon. There are multiple tiers that offer unique perks to each one. You can get discounts on merch. You can access to bonus content that we make exclusively for Patreon members. We have an extended edition of every episode where we have before and after more chatting from us and talking about our lives and horror and all sorts of fun things. Sometimes
Deep
we
dives.
cry.
Yes.
Sometimes we deep dive. Sometimes we just shoot the shit or get drunk or whatever we do. It's a good time.
Sometimes we cry. We cry on the.
That's true. There was some crying on one episode.
It's true.
Get
I can
emotional.
confirm. And then obviously we also have our highest tier, which is our dedicated patrons, which has an exclusive perk where you get called out every episode for being a dedicated patron. And thank you so much, CG, for being our first one. Our dedicated
benefactor.
Yes, thank you. So we really appreciate it.
And another perk to being on being one of our patrons is sometimes you get not only can you directly interact with us on our Discord, but you can also you can kill us. Actually,
yes.
We have an
That's
upcoming special episode that we'll be doing this very month where one or two or more, we have to figure out how many we can fit in. We're going to select a few of our patrons. Only two.
Total of two,
Lucky.
because 4 survivors and 1 killer. So we've got
That's
2
right.
lucky members.
After months and months of talking about it on the show, we're finally going to get around to playing Dead by Daylight. We're going to stream a massacre, Dead by Daylight, finally getting around to that. And 2 lucky patrons will get to stalk and kill us, or we'll be able to stalk and kill them.
I am excited. I've been playing a lot of video games with my daughter. It's been Mario Kart, but I think I'm ready to play some Dead by Daylight.
I'm so excited to show you guys.
I've heard one of the best ways to train for Dead by Daylight is by racing around and throwing blue shells at people. So that's
of course. Huge crossover,
You're-
guys.
Blue shells,
You're
bananas,
totally
whatever.
ready.
We got it.
You're totally ready.
We'll be right before they add the second Stranger Things chapter 2, which just got confirmed and announced after the big finale of Stranger Things.
It's finally over. It's finally over. Thank God.
Oh man!
Oh, come
I forgot
on,
that
it
Ian's
was
so
good.
grumpy about
No
Stranger
spoilers.
Things.
It was
Nostalgia
good.
bait. Nostalgia bait garbage.
No. But Ryan experienced the finale in a special way, didn't you, Ryan?
I did. I got to see it in theaters, which was a
How was
blast.
that?
It was a blast. So so Sasha and I have been watching since the beginning. We are big fans of the show. We introduced some friends to it. We watched through all of season 3 and around the time season 4 was coming out, like leading up to season 4, we were rewatching and we ended up introducing it and watching it through the first 3 seasons with some friends. And then we all watched season 4 together. Most of those friends are no longer in the area, but one of them is. And so we got to get together and watch through the season. We watched the first chunk before we left for the holidays, the second chunk right when we got back, and then we got tickets and saw the very last finale episode in the theaters, which was super cool, but also people in theaters suck sometimes. Especially, I'm going to bet it was because it was a Netflix show and the fact that people like are used to watching it at home. But real quick shout out, if you're at the theater with other people, stop taking flash fucking photography on your phone.
No.
That's incredibly rude and disrespectful.
No.
It happened twice and it had to happen one more time. I was going to call a motherfucker out, dude. I was getting mad. And
When
there were a lot of people like
Ryan
recording
salty.
the intro, like doing the like.
What? No.
Yeah. Like they weren't showing like luckily it was just the title sequence, so it's like okay fine, like you're trying to do the social, but like God, like it's a theater, there are other people there. We avoided spoilers the whole break and we're on the plane ride back and Sasha we missed our check-in by a little bit, so Sasha and I were sitting across the aisle from each other. 2 people next to Sasha were watching one of the episodes on their iPad, and it's like flashing lights, like strobing in the corner. And it's like, God dang it! Like it's right. It's a huge cultural event right now. Could you not watch this on the plane? And the guy's going like, oh. No way! Like on the plane, and you're like, guys,
that's crazy.
Be respectful.
The joke has been made a million times, I'm sure, but I swear people never came out of COVID. They still think they're locked up alone in their houses. But you take flash photography in a movie theater. I'm practicing my Dead by Daylight moves on you in the theater.
It was getting close. It was getting close. I was like, oh man.
I'm sorry.
Luckily, it was only twice.
Terrible.
It was only twice over the 2.5 hour whatever. But I was like, the third. If it would happen a third time, I was gonna be like, hey. Just leave. Go
I mean,
home.
what this comes down to, too, is that people don't know how to use their phones. I mean, people are just taking out their phone and hitting and not turning off the flash. Like, they don't know how to use their phone.
And these people are also in the theater not realizing that now Ryan is no longer, like, truly a horror initiate. Now he's watched horror movies.
Oh, yes.
So he knows how to dismember you. If you do flash photography in a theater... He knows how to.
He learned that in his camping days, Ian. I think he learned that in his Boy Scout days, way before then. Yeah,
that's right.
Outdoor gear can be incredibly sharp.
And with that, and that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we do review movies on this show at a certain point. And actually, as I said earlier, we also base them on prompts, and the prompts this time was chosen by Dan, a very appropriate prompt for this episode. I think it's probably already been spoiled by what's sitting behind you there on the screen, but I don't care. Let's give it an intro anyway. Dan, what was the prompt that you chose, and what was the movie that you chose as a result of it? Very appropriate for the first episode of the year, I might add.
That's true. The prompt fits so well for me because I've shared 2 very kind of traumatic birth experiences on this podcast over the years. So when I chose birth, I was like, oh, that's perfect prompt for me. And it does fit that this is our first episode of the new year, but I was really debating, should I go like gross freak out birth, like crazy demon birth type thing, zombie birth, there's a lot of movies that do some crazy stuff, but I decided let's go classic, let's go grand, let's go probably one of the greatest horror movies out there, let's go Rosemary's Baby. So that's what we watched, is Rosemary's Baby. So that's what we are talking about today.
I'm so relieved because I birds really skeeve me out. Like I remember seeing Knocked Up in the theater, and there was the crowning scene, and that more than any horror movie I've ever seen, I almost ran screaming out of the theater. Whoa, God, no! So thank you for choosing something it's actually a fairly mellow movie. From a horror standpoint, no gore whatsoever, no blood, no jump scares, little jumpy moments, but nothing major. It's just one of those movies that just
It's skeevy.
Yes.
Ugh.
Yes.
It's a skeevy
Oh, it just makes
movie.
you feel terrible. What was your experience with this movie before, boys? Dan, obviously you've seen Rosemary's Baby before. How many
Yes.
times? What was your experience with it?
Honestly, I think I had only watched it once. You know, it's one of those, like, it's on the list of like Exorcist, Rosemary's Baby, like the must, tower of like, you got to watch these. So when I was making my way through the list, I was like, okay, Rosemary's Baby. So I believe I had only seen it the one time. So this was my second viewing of it.
Yeah. This is, I honestly, low count for me too. I think only 3 or 4 times I've seen Rosemary's Baby. I was actually shocked. I went to go get my Blu-ray of it, and I realized I never got a Blu-ray of it. I still have it on DVD.
Wow.
I'm like, that's how long it's been since I've seen it. So I felt it's terrible. I got to go reach out and get the Criterion edition. Ryan Ross Live, had you, like, by some weird chance ever seen Rosemary's Baby before?
Not at all.
No. Did you know anything about it? What did you know about Rosemary's Baby before you watched it for the episode today?
I had heard the name. I didn't actually know it was a horror movie. I just knew the name. I knew it was a famous movie. That's about all.
Wow. Oh my god! So you
honestly didn't even realize it was as old as it was. I thought it was like 70s, 80s, not 60s.
To be fair, I think that it's safe to say that it feels kind of 70s-ish. Like, if you watch it in the context of movies from the 60s and movies from the 70s, it feels more like a 70s movie. The acting is more naturalistic. The way that it's shot is much more in line with how movies were shot in the 70s. And also, it was very, a lot of ways, a lot of people took a lot of cues from this movie. Super influential.
Influential once I rewatched it.
Yeah, it's how many people have ripped off things from this movie. I mean, even The Exorcist, I think, has took some cues from this movie. And I just to get this out of the way right up front, it is directed by Roman Polanski, who is, how shall we put this, problematic as a director, as a human being. He's no longer allowed to come back to the United States because he's still wanted for his rape conviction of an underage girl. And
holy shit.
Pretty damning stuff. I've unfortunately read some of the details of the actual crime, and fuck that guy.
Wow.
So he can go rot in France, and anyone who stands up and claps for him at the Academy Awards can also suck a fat one. But that being said, brilliant director.
Is he still making stuff?
He's still making stuff.
Yeah.
People go to France to work with him. It's nuts.
That's crazy.
But he's also a phenomenal director. So a lot of people apparently choose art over the person. And we're going to kind of have to do that today because this is a very important movie. And this is before he was an asshole. I guess he was an asshole too. But, there is a thing about this movie, and that is that it does deal with a little something called Satanism.
Yes.
And
a little
bit. And there was kind of a rumor going around at the time and after that there was a Rosemary's Baby curse. For example, the producer, William Castle, went into hiding after this movie. He felt like the devil was after him, got a urinary tract infection, and then Roman Polanski's wife, Sharon Tate, was murdered by Charles Manson's followers the year after this movie came out.
Oh, right. Whoa.
So, plus a number of other crazy. Also, Mia Farrow famously got divorced in the middle of this movie.
Oh.
She was before this movie, she was known as a TV actress and married to Frank Sinatra.
Oh, okay.
And Frank told her not to take this part and to be in a movie he was doing instead. And she said, no, this is going to be great for my career. I really want to do it. So he had her served divorce papers in the middle of them shooting a scene in this movie.
Wow.
Frank Sinatra, giant dick, apparently both literally, metaphorically and physically.
We don't need to talk about his member.
Anyway. But that being said, so lots of things. And then, of course, also Mia Farrow snubbed for an Oscar for this movie as well. I don't know if that would fall into the purview of a satanic curse, but certainly a bad snub up there with Toni Collette for how do you snub her. But so getting all of that stuff out of the way. Rosemary's Baby, one of the most famous horror movies ever made. Does this movie hold up? It's one of the older movies that we've done on this show. It's 60 years old, almost. Boys, what did we think? Ryan, it's your first time, so I'll throw it to you first. How do you think Rosemary's Baby held up after all these years as a horror movie on the surface?
Honestly, I was super impressed in terms of how it holds up. I feel like its themes are really timeless in terms of like I don't want to get into too much before the spoiler warning.
Oh, but you're right. We have to do the spoiler warning before we do anything else. It's only 60 years old. If you haven't seen Rosemary's Baby, go watch it now or be spoiled. Bam, bam, bam. Spoiler warning. Let's go.
Spoiler alert. All spoilers, including character deaths and plot twists, are now authorized. You have been warned.
But yes, so following the spoiler warning, I feel like the core themes of the movie are the isolationism, right? The fact that there's this network of people that are literally separating this woman from everyone else, and they're telling her, don't read, don't go out, don't talk to your friends, don't do this, don't do that, like only trust us, which A, hugely problematic, B, terrifying, and C, also shockingly prescient right now with a lot of like political themes and other things that are a little bit scary.
Well, that's the thing. Can you imagine, like, this movie, I don't know if and they've tried to remake it since. There's been a few versions since then. I mean, they made a prequel called Apartment 7A 2 years ago now, 2024. They made a remake in 2014 with Zoe Saldana. And they made a sequel in the 70s called Look What Happened to Rosemary's Baby. But how do you update this movie where someone can be that isolated and gaslit in a post-cell phone, like post-internet era? Part of this is the fact that she's isolated in this house with only, I mean, you know, he takes away and throws away a book that she's getting information from, and that, you know, she has to go to like the bookstore to find it. And even then, like, that seems like a big stretch. Right. So, I mean, how do you see this as being still prescient if you can be gaslit so much more easily then?
Well, honestly, I think it's to your point. Like, it is the aspect of you can appreciate that she doesn't have the resources that we have today. But there is also, to your point, the gaslighting of if you're in a position of power, if you're in a position of trust, if you're in a position of authority, like even in the modern information era, I would argue even potentially more so with the misinformation aspect of the information era. It's pretty easy if you're really trying to like go dastardly and manipulate people into believing something, to present evidence and make them trust you in a way that you can separate and tribalize outside information that you don't want to get in, because you can present them with information as the expert or as the trusted one and say like, look, this is true and you should believe this. And then everything else they're going to view through the lens of like, well, I was told by this trusted individual. And so even then I like, yes, we have more access to information, and yes, like the book thing, she could like look up online and find the book or whatever, order it off Amazon, whatever it might be. But the core element of that gaslighting and that mistrust and that control is just a very human thing. I don't feel like that's an era thing.
Right. And I think you make a good point there too. And it's funny, Zoe Saldana does actually Google Satan in the remake.
Amazing.
But it's not just misinformation, it's disinformation. And it's interesting that in Rosemary's Baby, some of the people that she goes to are authority figures. They are trusted, like society level authority figures. And it's almost like it's been flipped to the point now where the authority figures, we've been distrusting them for so long that now it's coming around to maybe we need to be distrusting these anti-authority figures as well, because they don't always have the best intentions as well if you were to remake it. But Dan, what did you think? You'd only seen it once before and you're seeing it again. Do you feel like this movie still holds up in the modern era? Like, is it still scary?
I think it's definitely still scary. And to kind of piggyback off of Ryan's point, I think that if you compare it like apples to apples of like, could in our modern time, could a woman still be like, or a person in general just be like this isolated because of the technology and the ways that we have more resources? That way, I think it might not hold up. But if you branch it out to the bigger level of a political party using their power to spread disinformation and to spread different things to control people, then if you open it up in that way and then compare it to it, it's almost like it's like a metaphor for kind of what can be and what's possible and what is happening to some people now, and like in the way of that control. So I think if you look at it that way, I think it definitely holds up. And I think it held up in another way too, because it's a very excellent rewatch sort of movie, I thought.
Oh,
like
yes.
it's almost like it's fun now watching it a second time, because there's so many little tidbits along the way that when you finally know when you know the ending, when you rewatch it, you're like, oh my gosh, look at all these little things that they're doing that they then pay off or set up, or like, now that you know, like the husband was in on it, like seeing his, like I watched his face. I watched John Cassavetes' face the entire time, the second one, because I was like, I want to see how he reacts to this. I want to see how he reacts to this. You could just see him always like, how do I get rid of the situation?
How do I
fix this? You know, like how do I spin? Like how it's so well structured. That's what I really noticed the second time too. So it holds up, and you see how well put together it is as a film. It's so good. Yeah,
it is very well put together. But I think that by contrast, I think that it's not just about like a bigger picture in terms of a conspiracy, but it's also, I think you hit on the head with Cassavetes, his character. It is a personal, very, very personal movie about deception, about gaslighting, and about, I think this is actually something I wanted to ask, was where the horror in this movie comes from, because it's on the surface not a terribly horrific movie. Like, yes, there's a satanic rape scene, but more often than anything in this movie, I'm sorry, I was more freaked out by John Cassavetes and his character, his arc, everything he does in this movie. He, to me, is the real horror of this movie, and what he does to his wife in terms of gaslighting and altering her perception of reality. But to that, I want to ask you guys kind of a twofold question. One's kind of a little funny one. Is Rosemary an idiot? Or like, did you guys feel like the movie explained away how she was gaslit? And second, is that where the horror comes from? Or is it the body horror, the religious horror? Like, what was scary to you guys in this movie? Ryan, what was it that, was she an idiot, and what scared you?
No, I don't think she's an idiot at all. She's literally set up to fail. Every opportunity, I think, to your point, for me, one of the scariest parts of this movie is that they have created a setup in which every opportunity that she might have to break out, they intervene. And it isn't until she starts standing up for herself that they start to lose traction, and they only lose a little because they still have so many cards that they can play to get it back. She goes and she's like, maybe I should leave the house. They come knock on the door. We should have a night alone. They come check in. We're going to throw a party. Let us host. Let us help. Let us do this. Like, oh, we have a doctor that we see. Oh, you don't want that doctor. We know a way better doctor. It's the best
sure
doctor. You should check out our doctor. And it's just like so many like guise of being helpful plays. And I think that's what makes the movie scary, is that anyone, I think, when faced with a coordinated effort from multiple people close to you,
right,
I think you're at such a disadvantage. Like, there's almost no way that you are going to, like, it's going to take you a long time to figure it out, let alone get out, because the others have numbers, they have cooperation, they have planning, they are in on a plan that you are completely unaware of, and you have to figure that plan out and even realize it's happening with the people that are closest to you, that you trust and rely on a daily basis. That, I think, is the core of the horror of the movie more than anything else, is having your daily life infiltrated by people who want to harm you or at least like negatively impact you. I lost the second question.
No, but you hit them both. You got both of them. You got like the horror and is she an idiot? Like, you answered both of them, and you ended at a great point. And that was when Rosemary does figure out that everyone is against her, and she's even still is not aware that everyone's Charles Grodin in his first major movie with his stupid fucking mustache.
Yeah, that
is also
the worst.
It's from the book. This movie's actually very accurate to Ira Levin's book.
Okay, cool.
And her doctor having like a stupid little blonde, barely there mustache is from the book.
Wow.
Like, they have little details like that, like the different toppings on top of the mouse, the moose, right?
Yeah.
Like, so he could tell them apart. That's all from the book.
Well,
Like
I didn't realize that they had different toppings.
Wow.
That's how we could tell which one had the chalky undertaste.
I
right?
wondered that because I was like, okay, clearly it's drugged, but I was like, oh, it's weird that he knew which one. There you go.
No, because they thought it all out. They know they can figure it out. And just him with his little skeezy way of like always kind of like looking at her when she finally has the party and her friends are like, get the fuck out.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Girls only. And he's outside the door like skeeving in. Fuck Cassavetes in this movie, dude. He's so awful. Did you know, actually, here's a funny thing before I get back to my point. Did you know that Jack Nicholson was being considered for the role? And they turned him down because he looked too sinister. He had like a sinister look to him naturally.
Oh, that's funny.
And they wanted a guy who, and Cassavetes just looks, he can be sinister. Like if you've seen Dirty Dozen or anything like that, like he can be a really scary guy, but he doesn't naturally come across as scary. He's just kind of like a handsome, cool dude. But in this movie, just, as you said, Dan, the way that he has these little like micro expressions. And when you go back and look and they put all the little details in where like he comes in his makeup and she points it out, or when he like runs out, it's like, oh, here you are, you're passed out. And I really got to get some ice cream. And he runs out and you hear the doorbell from next door in the background. Like they put all the little doorbells when he's going over there. It's great stuff. But that's the thing is by the end, when she realizes that everyone is out to get her, when she finally puts it all together and she's in the phone booth, right? And she's like trying to make the call to the guy, and there's the scary guy standing outside who's actually the producer of the movie, William Castle.
Oh, really? Oh, that's funny.
It's a little cameo from him. But that paranoia, that fear, that horror, that's the thing I think is the most 70s. Is like we became very paranoid as a culture in the 70s, and that kind of presaged that feeling of conspiracy, everyone out to get you. And what do? The powerlessness that brings you. And maybe that's one of the reasons why the movie hits so hard, is it really was speaking more to that horror of people out to get us. Maybe it's the government. At the time it was the Vietnam era, right? We're starting to distrust the government. She's dreaming about JFK on a boat. Like maybe that was a subtle little thing, is that you can't trust anybody. And that's the real horror, not Satan, not anything else. It's the people closest to you are out to get you. Dan, what did you think? Do you think that Rosemary was just dumb to not see it coming, or like what was scary to you in this?
Well, I don't think she was dumb. How old is she supposed to be in this movie too? Also,
They're supposed to
I
be
think they said like early 30s, I thought.
Okay, so they're a little bit older.
20s, late 20s,
Okay.
I thought.
Was it late
like
20s?
Young.
That would be more 70s
Yeah.
than modern, so I could be viewing it through a modern lens.
So, because she just, at least in the beginning, she felt very young still. But I think what it is more that she seems like she's a very lost character in the beginning. So she doesn't really have like a guy or like a purpose. Like she's still trying to figure out what she wants to do. This apartment is a purpose. Having a child is like a thing. So I think she's just very vulnerable. At this moment, that she's willing to, once things start falling in place, she's just willing to go along with it because she's so happy in that moment. Like I'm finding like this is what I wanted. Like it's finally happening for me, for us. So it's like when all these people are like kind of coming into their lives, like she's finding people, she's finding friendship in this place. I think it's just she's just allowing people to control her because of that vulnerability. But I don't think she's an idiot, because once she starts putting these little pieces together, and especially when her friend, the gentleman that brings the book, what's his name? Or gives her the book?
Hutch. Maurice Evans.
Hutch.
Yeah.
The guy who played Dr. Zaius in Planet of the Apes, by the way.
Oh,
Maurice
interesting.
Evans.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, once Hutch, once all that starts falling into place where he doesn't show up in the book, then she starts to put it together so well that it's like, well, she's not a fool. She's not an idiot. She was just allowing the people that she trusted she put trust in people.
Yeah.
And so then when the puzzle pieces start falling into her lap, she's like, oh no, I need to figure this out, and that's when the fear started coming. And so, I think that's the horror of it all, is like, in that phone booth, it was really interesting that the camera just like stayed with her and never cut. It just made you feel like you're trapped. And that's where I think that last like 20 minutes of this movie just feels so devastating, because it's just like there's no escape. Like there's no hope. Once Charles Grodin opens the door and her husband and the doc, I'm like, you're just like, oh my god, this is the end. This is horrible. Like you had a glimpse, like, oh my gosh, she's gonna make it, and then it's just like ripped out, and it's just like that's the horror of it. Is like it's just the not having anybody around you that you feel like you can trust, and then also just being like completely lost in despair, like no light at the tunnel, like
the inevitability, the hopelessness of it.
Well, honestly, and also the dramatic irony of the fact that we as the audience are able to piece it together before she is. And
way before.
Like the fact that Hutch is like, oh, like this is interesting. Like, let me look this up in the encyclopedia, and it's like catching on really fast. And she's like still kind of in it. And then she gets the phone call from Hutch, and he's like, oh, where are you going to meet him? And you're like, don't tell him.
Don't tell him.
Don't tell the guy. And you tell him, and she tells him, oh, yeah, this time, this place, whatever. And then literally Sasha and I looked at each other and we're like, he's dead. Like,
he's a dead man.
He's dead. You just sealed his fate. He's dead. And lo and behold, doesn't show up. And I love the through line of the comas, too. The fact that you like obviously Hutch is the one that's really like a plot point, but and they like really hint of the other actor going blind as well to get him the big break as like the reward. But also the beginning of the movie, the whole reason that the apartment is free at all is because she was in a coma for months and then mysteriously died.
Wow, I forgot. I didn't realize that. Oh, that's crazy.
It's all set up.
Yeah.
She was going to flip on him. Yeah. And they were like, well, we can't do that again.
It's very Hereditary-ish in the sense of like, it's all, there's other people making all of the decisions.
This was the movie that he said he most was basing Hereditary on.
That makes sense.
That's cool. Yeah.
You can like even down to the very end where the whole cult is like, hey, let's spell out the whole thing for you now.
Well, and the nice old woman who's like trying to be helpful all the time. Let's be friends.
Yes. And that same kind of gaslighting, and also the inevitability of it. Like the fact that they've thought of everything. You do not have a way out. You are just a little doll in a house, and they're going to get you no matter what you do. And I want to come back to the ending because that is a bit of something that I want to discuss because that was a beef that we had with Hereditary.
Right.
And it's a beef that I want to talk about here. But going back to a point that we were just talking about, Ryan, I wanted to ask you specifically because I think most people, when you watch this movie, can figure out what's going on way before she can. Like, Cassavetes has turned on her pretty early. Maybe not right away. Like this time, watching it, the time after you watch it, you can see that he's from the first time he meets the other couple, Roman and Mimi or whatever her name is. He knows, like he's in right away. He's gone to the dark side.
Well, they have that whole like, stay behind, let's talk while the women go do their thing. And then all of a sudden he's like, we should hang out with them all the time. Like it's like a really like whoop 180. But like we don't have to go talk to the old people, do we? And so I do, but yes, continue.
But I was just going to ask, like, did that throw you? Did that make you kind of like, okay, I know what's happening now? Or was that like knowledge of what was going on, like the puppeteering, was that actually an effective storytelling device?
I thought it was kind of enticing in the sense of like the fact that like you do know that the husband is in on, like you get that he's like, okay, he's got some angle here. And there's something going on with the old people. She mentions like the portraits on the wall don't match the spots and whatever. Like there's clearly something going on. But early on, you don't really know what that is. And so you've got this mystery of like, you're like, okay, the old people have some ulterior motive. They're creepy. They act really like benignly to the woman that they were taking care of that jumped from their window. Like the first time that we see them is they're like coming back from dinner and they're like, oh, what a shame. The person we've been taking care of for years and described us as her grandparent figures. Right. Like, oh, yeah, that's her splayed across the cement. That makes sense. Well, I thought that she was better. Oh, well.
I know. Like, Roman's like, she's dead. And he's like, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Like, immediately. It's like, holy shit. Like, you made it seem like it was important.
That's what happens to silly whores.
Yeah.
They just jump from windows. Yeah, like, what, dude?
Maybe she was cleaning the windows at midnight? That's unlikely.
Hardly likely. Yeah. Well, Definitely her handwriting. I don't need to look at it any further.
Yes, definitely, absolutely.
Yeah,
he
absolutely. Without a doubt, her handwriting. Jesus Christ.
That whole scene was like, okay, they're sketch. And then they start becoming friendly, and you're like, sure.
Not just friendly, like, so Ruth Gordon, she was a big actress before this. Her career had fallen off, and then she was nominated for an Academy Award for this, for Best Supporting Actor. I think she might have won. I'll have to check on that. But she, and then she had a career resurgence after this. And she reprised this part again in the TV sequel. Then she went on to play like kind of the kooky old lady after this. Like if you ever saw Harold and Maude, she's awesome, and she's basically the same character, but actually nice. But she's fucking awful in this. She's just so always there. Oh, come on, I'll just come over there and bring you some cake. Drink your drink now, dearie.
Yeah,
and just
they were all very forceful about the meds and stuff. They're like, don't forget. Like, you should drink it right now.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I'm fairly antisocial, so like I'm not big on like going over my neighbor's house and like borrowing the sugar or anything. But like if I had neighbors that were coming over that much, I would be practicing my Dead by Daylight on them. Like this, they were so every time they came in, like
this episode,
my skin just went. Oh God, they're back again. And you could see she was just like, oh, mild annoyance.
Yeah.
Those silly neighbors. But all right, so we were terrified by the human aspect of it, the fact that she was trapped by forces beyond her control. Let's get to it. Let's get to that ending. Let's talk about that ending here, because there's the comparison that we had to Hereditary, which I personally thought the Hereditary ending over-explained, and it blew the creepiness of it by having people just be like, so in column A, you see here that during this movie, this person was betraying this person, and then this happened here. See what happened here? And they tell you too much, and they over-explain, and it kills the creepiness. They did virtually the exact same thing here, and this was pointed out to me by Nick in Barcelona, one of our listeners and a good buddy of mine. And I wanted to, when I watched it this time, it bothered me how much they kind of over-explain at the end. Did that bother you guys at all? Like, what did you think about the very end when the twist is revealed and she walks into the room and what have you done to his eyes? The classic line. What did you think about the ending?
So that part actually didn't upset me as much as the part with Charles Grodin, because I felt like that was spoon feeding. Hey, audience, if you didn't catch all of these tidbits we left you, here it is. When she had to sit there and just say it all again, like, and then this happened, and they did this, and then they did that, and this is a conspiracy. It's all about this. I know it sounds crazy, but they're saying, it was like you could have just entered the conversation without her even saying any of that and allowing him to be like, are you serious? Like, this is really happening. And so then allow the audience to still sort of like be putting it together. I felt like I was having, the second viewing, I was able to enjoy putting the mystery together, like the puzzle pieces of it, following it along with her. I'm like, oh, this is really interesting to watch. Like, this is very kind of entertaining. And then she just kind of spouts it all again. And I was like, I felt like that was the scene where I was like, oh, this isn't necessary. And then again, so it's like they do it twice. They do it basically her spouting it to help catch up the audience. Like, this is everything that you've missed. And then they do it again to help, nail it home of like, here is, this is what it's all been about. This is all, the devil and everything and Satan. And so I don't think that the ending bothered me as much as like that scene with the doctor when she's trying to get help. Yeah.
It's funny because actually kind of Charles's blankness in that scene, his kind of blankness as an actor worked really well, because I thought they were trying to play it as though she was going to talk to this doctor and he was going to like, okay, you're crazy, get out. And it was almost comic, because she was over-explaining and he's just kind of sitting there going, okay.
Yeah.
And you're expecting him to be like, get the fuck out, crazy lady. And instead he goes, no, I believe you. And he takes her to a room. It's like, I'll take care of you. We'll go to the hospital to get this taken care of. And you're given that little like moment of hope, right? Where like first you're given this moment of despair where again, you're like, don't say anything. Stop talking. But then he goes, no, I'll help you. And of course, the cynical ones in the audience like myself from the beginning were like, he's going to turn her in.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like that's what they're going for, is that little like dangle of hope. And first they're trying to make you feel like there's not going to be hope. Then they give you hope. And then they just take it all away when that door opens and the bad guys come in.
Well,
But Ryan, did you,
go
ahead.
I'm just saying, comparing it to Hereditary, it's a very similar scene of right before the husband burns, where she's where she is.
Yes.
He's just come downstairs.
That's a
he's
good
seen
point.
the mom, and she's like this and this, and I have a neighbor. Remember, I saw her at the grocery store. All very similar scenes, like the same setup.
And that's
like,
the one that bugged you in that.
And that bugged me in that too. So it's, that's an interesting comparison that we were already talking about Hereditary.
Yeah.
And both of those moments lead into a moment of hope where you're like, oh, maybe they have a solution, and that solution turns out to be a false solution too.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
true.
Instead of the bad guys busting through the door and Rosemary's Baby, you have the poor husband catching on fire in Hereditary. It's a little more dramatic.
A little bit.
Take away the hope scene. Oh God. But Ryan, so wait, did either of those moments bother you as far as over exposition, or did the ending work for you?
I didn't really mind it too much because I thought that logically, at least from her character perspective, they both made sense. Of like the one, she has to explain everything to the doctor. I agree with Dan. We don't necessarily need to see it. We didn't we could have skipped the majority of that conversation, but it does make sense that like especially as a very lately pregnant woman who is like fairly malnourished from what we've determined over the course of the movie and all this stuff, is basically hysterical. Like it makes sense that she would be like, I'm going to tell you everything. Like sit down. Like I have books. I have things. Let me explain everything step by step because this is very important. I'm freaked out. Like that, I think tracks at least logically.
Totally.
But I do agree with Dan. We didn't necessarily have to see it, but it didn't bother me necessarily. And the ending, honestly, kind of the same way. She, up until this point, she knew that something was going on and she knew that there's sketchiness occurring, but she still didn't really know the same things that we knew. She was just kind of constantly piecing things together until she finally comes in and sees everyone there. And that's the reveal for her. And I feel like the explanation was more for her character's benefit than anything else of like, oh, like, by the way, we're all Satanists. Hooray!
Right.
Like, I didn't really mind it too much because it felt like she's been like coming out of essentially a medically induced like trance state that they've been trying to keep her in. She's been slowly kind of regaining consciousness. It makes sense that she would kind of need it spelled out. And
she's not dumb, but she's a little out of it. Yeah.
Well, she literally turns to the guy and goes like, "You're supposed to be in Dubnabrick. I'm not listening to you." As if he's like not there. Like she's like,
I thought that was just I thought that was just a great mic drop moment.
Yeah,
mic drop moment on her part, where she's like,
that's how
"You shut the fuck up. I know what's up with you."
Exactly. And so like I didn't really mind it too much. I thought it was kind of cool, although it was a little cheesy in the sense that it's like, we have a room full of socialites and all of us hail Satan. Let's cheer about it. Woohoo!
It's funny, and this is actually, I'm gonna kind of play my hand. So it sounded like it didn't bother you, but it on initial watch, it kind of bugged me at that moment where they all stood up and they're like, "By the way, everyone, hail Satan. We're Satanists. Satan's great. Woohoo! Year one. We love Satan." And it does seem a little theatrical. It does seem a little over the top. But then I remember this is a movie made in 1968. You have, and some of these actors, by the way, in that scene are like big, like Hollywood actors that have been around for decades.
Yes.
Like the guy who was screaming that was Sidney Blackmer, and he'd been around. I mean, he was an actor, back in the 30s. Like he'd been around forever. And so if you're a movie-going audience and you see a scene where all of a sudden some of these like recognizable faces are standing up and hailing Satan in 1968,
that's true.
You would have been like, holy shit, like this is hardcore. You don't see a lot of people just like openly being like, praise Satan. Like in that big of a, like it would have been breathtaking.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't quite hold up as full. Yeah. It's, I think that the impact of that is lessened by the distance to when the movie came out. But I can kind of, I can still kind of mentally interpret it, even if I don't like have the same kind of reaction that they did. But here's the thing I want to say about the ending of the movie is, to me, that's not the ending. And when I first saw the movie, I felt like it went on too long. I felt like the ending kept going. I'm like, end it there. Why wouldn't you end it when they won? And then this time is when I realized it. This movie has a prestige. Did you guys see the movie The Prestige?
I love Hugh Jackman. Prestige. It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Okay. Hugh Jackman, David Bowie, fantastic. Yes. Michael Caine.
Michael Caine.
my cocaine. But it's fantastic movie, and slight spoilers for that movie. But that movie is it's what it's called. It's a movie about a magic trick, and the thing about that movie is it defines a magic act as having the trick, and then afterwards is the prestige, right? The trick is the thing that kind of is surprising and amazing, but then the thing you remember is the prestige. The thing that comes afterward that makes you go, oh shit, and makes you think. And this movie has
Also,
the magic trick, which is
got to shout out Christian Bale and Scarlett Johansson.
Christian Bale,
because like they're
and Scarlett
incredible,
Johansson. The cast, it's Christopher Nolan. It's a stacked movie. Christian Bale and Christian Bale. Spoilers. But that being said, this movie has a prestige. You have the big trick, which is, hey, it's Satan's baby. You know, he's got the eyes, he's got the hooves. We're not going to show him. It's freaky. You're scared, and everything settles down. And then she ponders, and she sees the one lady rocking the kid too fast, and she goes, "No, I'll rock him. You know, let me. You're not doing it right." And she decides to take on the baby. Like, you see her, you don't actually see it. It halts right before that point, but you see her go over and start like looking at the baby as though it's her baby again, right? You have that moment where she kind of accepts it. And to me, that is almost as horrific a moment as any of the gaslighting that goes on before any of the Satan stuff. Like her saying, her being like, I'm a mother first. I don't give a fuck if this thing is a demonic spawn of Satan. I'm a mom. And that to me is just, that's what stuck with me this time. That's horrific. And they really spell it out a lot more in the book. They ruin that ending in the book. And I love the fact that Polanski pulled back on it. And he said, no. Let's make it a subtle moment. Let's make it a moment of her just, her facial expression changing and just this kind of moment of silence. And the lullaby comes back in, and then we're going to leave it like in that cold kind of scary moment. The book is like, she's going to go to the Pope and she's going to raise the baby and she's going to try and make it good because it's half her and half the, whatever.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. It blows all that. The movie leaves you in that beautiful moment after you've had the big, grand, we've told you everything. And Hereditary doesn't really do that. You don't have that moment where there's like a human horror moment. Like, he's gone. You don't have him suddenly being like, I guess I'll accept this demon into me. He just dies. The demon takes over. And spoiler alert for Hereditary, by the way. He did. Listen to the whole show. Catch up. You'll be good. He just dies, and he doesn't ever like have that moment of like, I guess I'll accept this cult after that, the exposition, right? This movie does. So what do you think, guys? Is that actually even more horrific to have her accept the child of Satan?
Well, I think it's made worse by the fact that the moment immediately prior to that, like, you say that she sees the thing rocking, the other woman rocking, and then the guy who's the head of the cult, who's like the son of the witch from the book, goes like, no, she's the mother, let her do it, and then like stands basically in between her and the baby and goes like, it's yours. Would you like to? That power play of like, it's not just her accepting the fact that she needs to be a mother. It's also like, and to your point, it's vague, but there's this whole, she essentially gives into their cards. Like, she walks into their hands, because whether she wants to be the mom or not, there's an argument to be made of like, she's like, what choice do I have? Like, they've already trapped me down. There's all these people. They've manipulated the situation this far. It's not like I can escape this. Like, I could be miserable, or I could like choose to accept this. Is like could be like, that's obviously a presumption, like a bit of we're a little bit like making what's the like posits about her mental state or whatever, because it's not verbalized in any way. But the fact that he's like standing over her as she does it, and everyone's watching her in this room of crowded people who have manipulated her for weeks and months of time, like, I think that even adds that layer of horror to it, of like, sure, like, she accepts it and it's a demon and that's freaky on its own, but the fact that she essentially gives into this machine of this group that has been using her for an end to create this new era with this demonic spawn at its center. Like, that has so much weight, and it just stares at you, and then they just have the little thing rocking and zoom on out over the skyline, and you're like, that's great. It's
Yeah,
great.
the
We're
lullaby.
fine.
Actually, Mia Farrow singing that lullaby.
Oh,
actually.
it seemed like
I
it.
wondered
It's-
that.
yeah,
Yep. That's actually her, and it is such a chilling moment, and that's why I think this movie is still strong. Is yes, we have the over explaining, but the real prestige, the real amazing ending of this movie is her giving in, the victory of evil, because it is banal, because it is relentless. It's gonna get you eventually. It's just gonna grind you down. It's gonna grind you down. What about you, Dan? Did the ending work for you, like in that sense? Like, did it get you, or were you by that point like, didn't work?
No, it got me. I think it got me better. It had been such a long time since I'd seen it the first time that I still was very swept up in it all, and I really just liked how they unveiled. And again, like I did catch that last, her accepting it, and the way that her eyes change, and the way that her like kind of face changes, looking down at the baby. It's like, yeah, I've seen that look. It's like my wife gave my daughters that look, like when they had kids. It's like when you're looking at your child, like you're like, this is my child. It's like that's the look of love, and so it's like she's twisting it. Like no. What I'm saying is like she no. Her like she was horrified when she first saw the baby, but then her
your wife?
No, I'm talking about the movie. Oh my gosh. No, Mia Farrow, when she first saw her baby, and she's just like, what happened to your eyes? She has to move away. But then that second look is like this look of like, this is my child. Like, no matter what this baby looks like there's love there. And so what I'm saying is like, I've seen, like, I probably look like that when you look like at your kid. It's like, you don't see, like, you just see this, like, just, this is a person that's from me. Like, that connection is there. And so to see that in her face is horrifying, because you're just like, she is now in it. Like, this is her life, and there's no escape from that. And so, like you said, like it all just, it hits so well. And like, I think watching it again, and especially that ending of her, discovering the secret door, which I thought was such a great setup, because they set it up in the beginning with the big like hutch or whatever is in front of it.
It's Chekhov's gun. Yeah, absolutely.
Like that was so cool. Like, just seeing that setup, and it gave me huge Get Out vibes too. Like, this movie, I feel like there's a lot of a lot of Get Out in this, especially that ending of just finding this whole other space, the way that he like saw this whole other part of the house once they had caught him in Get Out. Is very much felt like, this is very much the scene of her seeing this whole other secret hidden part of their place where she had heard things going on. Like the painting of his dad that you had seen in the book is now above the fireplace. It's like all these things are coming together that I was like, this is such a strong ending. It was really good.
And it's funny. So. I will say one of the things I think really establishes how good of a filmmaker Polanski was, despite being problematic, is the fact that the dream sequences in this movie feel like dreams. Like the one where the nuns are working behind her on the convent, and they're like, putting the bricks up and everything, but she's hearing little floating tidbits of conversations from next door come into her dream, and just the way that it floats in and out of that waking and dream is beautiful. And then of course when she's been drugged and they're carrying her next door, when you go through that door at the end of the movie and you see, that's the flaming thing that she saw on the way in, it's actually a painting, and that's the old witch that she saw standing up on a mount was actually the painting of the guy, right? Like, you realize that all these things were actually
that's cool.
When you watch that dream sequence again, and she goes down that hallway, watch the dream sequence and then watch that hallway, because there's things that she was dreaming about that are now in the space,
which is why she calls back you got her too high when she looked at that painting, because I was like, that's a weird thing to call out here, but you're totally right.
Wow. That's
and
really
she kind of remembers that because she didn't eat all the mouse.
Mm-hmm.
If she'd eaten all the mouse, she never would have known. And if she'd have just thought that scumbag Cassavetes had been rough with her while she was passed out the night before. That scene was it was kind of fun in a necrophiliac way.
That was horrifying. Like, that scene
the
was
fact that
just everything he said to her.
God.
Can we talk about how disgusting the sentence is? I was kind of loaded up to as like an excuse.
An excuse.
Like, as if that's okay.
Yeah. And
I didn't want to miss baby night.
Didn't she say something like, I dreamed something horrible was raping me? And he goes, thanks a lot, babe. And what? Dude. Oh, he's such a scumbag in this. And the little way at the end, when like everything's revealed and he kind of scuttles around, but he can't look at her. He's scuttling around behind the wall and like sneaks up next to her. He's like, hey, honey, everything's going to be okay. Don't worry, honey. Don't worry. I'll make it right to you. We'll have a kid eventually. Don't you worry. Just because you had the spawn of Satan, no big deal. And she, thank God.
Yeah.
The logic of it's like it wouldn't be any different if you lost the baby. You're like,
oh my
what?
God.
Like, what? That's your basis?
And then even the scene where he, like, before when they're trying to tell her, like, trick her and say that the baby actually died. And he's just sitting there smoking a cigarette, just like, well, let's go have a good life. Sorry, I carried a baby and it died. It's like,
we'll have more. You heard what the doctor said? We can have more, babe. It's all good. I'm a famous actor.
You were fertile, you and your sisters, right? You have a bunch of like, oh God.
You're so fertile. Oh my
gosh.
So real quick, I will say one thing that disappointed me about the end is that all that Guy Woodhouse got was a spit in the face and not a knife in the throat, because I don't know if there's a character in cinema I hate more than this guy. He is just the worst. And honestly, I will not only do I think that he is clearly the runaway victor of our F That Guy award for this episode, but I'm going to nominate him.
I know what's going to happen. I'm
going to nominate him.
I agree with you. Go for it.
Not only to get the Mike Logan award, but possibly we rename the Mike Logan Award, the Guy Woodhouse Award, because that's how much of a scumbag he is.
His name is Guy, too. Fuck that Guy Award.
Fuck that guy.
It's in the name. Like, you gotta do
that
it.
Guy.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I didn't even think
I think it has to be
great. That's
fuck
great.
That guy.
That's pretty fate right there.
Yeah.
Oh,
and also,
it's down to rename
it really is hard to be as cartoonishly evil as Mike Logan, because he's just cartoonishly evil. But Guy is so much more of just a sniveling, self-centered, gaslighting piece of shit. Like, he's just awful. And I mean, it ruined me for John Cassavetes for the rest of his career.
Oh my God.
I'll be honest.
Well, because he's playing an actor too. He's like, I want to be that famous that I will do anything to do it. I will ruin my wife's life so that I can have the fame, you know?
And can we call out how first of all, Polanski hated Cassavetes and vice versa, because apparently Cassavetes was a pain in the ass to work with. But to Polanski, who had his own way of working. But I love that Cassavetes plays a bad actor well. Like a guy who's not a very good actor, you know? But he's so good at acting that he plays him like, oh, it's so, it's a great performance. Sorry, Ryan, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I think that Mike Logan out of the two, I do think Mike Logan's more evil because Mike Logan just does evil things to do evil things. Whereas at least Guy's whole thing is, we're going to get rich. We're going to get famous. Like, they've promised me things and there's gain to be had for him. That doesn't excuse his behavior. I think that on a scale, I think that Mike Logan is still more evil than Guy. But I also think, to Dan's point, the fact that it's fuck that guy and his name is Guy, that just seems way too fortuitous, like serendipitous. We can't not.
Yeah. We can't.
So we call it the Guy. What's his last name again?
Woodhouse.
So we call it the Guy Woodhouse Award, formerly known as the Mike Logan.
Yeah, formerly known as the Mike Logan Award. It was Mike Logan, but then we realized that cartoonish evil it's cartoonish, right? Like, I don't know. I think that I hate Guy Woodhouse more than I hate Mike Logan. Mike Logan's just kind of like, yeah, fuck that guy. But Guy Woodhouse, I'm like, no, I want to kill him. Like, I'm mad at him. You know, he makes me so mad.
I support it.
He makes me so mad.
Oh,
yeah. All right. So there we go. We don't even have to vote. I mean, he's just the worst.
He's the worst.
That guy.
Although Ryan might have another
honorable mention though. I think what's the wife? Roman's
Ruth
wife.
Gordon, Minnie.
Yeah, Minnie. I think Minnie's an honorable mention because Minnie's horrendous and does a great job of it. And I also think she has legitimately the funniest moment in the movie because Ro comes in with the knife, right? She's coming in, she sees the room, she gets this whole thing, and she drops the knife, and Minnie just comes over, picks up the knife, and wipes the floor because she's mad it got scratched. And I was like, that is brilliant.
Yes. That is such a good character moment.
That little just
my God.
Like miff that her floor got scratched by the huge knife.
Huge knife.
Oh man.
And it's a great callback to her husband spilling the vodka blushes on the carpet earlier on. I think, which I think is a cocktail that was made up for this movie. It's vodka and like pomegranate syrup and lime juice with a sprig of rosemary. Apparently, the official recipe. So,
well, you gotta have that rosemary in
baby.
Yep,
gotta have that rosemary. All right,
goddamn.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we now have no more Mike Logan. Mike Logan has been retired by Guy Woodhouse, who has taken the throne. He is now our "Fuck That Guy" award, and he's our inaugural. Our inaugural Guy Woodhouse "Fuck That Guy"
Honestly,
award is Guy Woodhouse.
The Woodhouse Award. It has a better ring than Guy Woodhouse.
That's pretty good.
Fuck that guy, the Woodhouse Award.
Exactly.
Done.
Exactly.
I like it. That's it.
All right. You
That's
heard it here. You heard it here on this episode first. This is where it starts.
Award?
On this episode of This Is Why You Died. It's the name of the show. It's why we're here. We got to figure out why someone died in this movie. We've only got like one death and then a reported death in this movie. So this is going to be a tough one, boys. How do we do this one for Rosemary's Baby?
Honestly, I think we just got to do what we always do, which is just take who we got and give a good reason.
All right. Well,
I'm gonna go.
I got one.
Go for it.
Yeah. I guess when you're doing your laundry, just stick to yourself. Don't talk to anybody while you're doing your laundry because you might get killed for it.
Oh, Angela Giannoffrio?
Yeah.
Oh.
Why was
she?
I thought that she just killed herself to get out.
No, I think she was murdered.
You think she was hexed?
Yeah.
You think she was hexed? Oh.
I think that she was talking to Rosemary, and anybody that talked to Rosemary or like maybe had some sort of insight was taken out.
See, I read it, and I thought this is what I heard in some of the talking through the walls, was that they told Angela like shortly what they were going to do to her shortly before she realized, oh my God, they're going to have me impregnated by Satan. Fuck that shit. I'm out. And they were like, cool. And they either killed her or had her killed or hexed her to kill herself.
Oh,
and then they were like, you know what's funny? We have Rosemary next door because it's not played like Cassavetes knew that he was moving into a place where these Satanists were. He didn't know until she was dead. And then they had to turn him right after Angela died.
Wait.
So
I think I figured something out. Is we talked about the seeding of things, right?
Yes.
She talks about how she was friends with the neighbor lady, and the neighbor lady made herbs and stuff. And to Dan's point, like everybody that Rosemary associates with dies because she's the current target. We talked about how the old lady gets targeted and dies, and that's why her apartment frees up because she was the former friend of Giannoffrio. So Giannoffrio was talking to the neighbor and wasn't supposed to be, so they offed the neighbor.
Right.
And then I do agree. I think that the implication is that she was the first target and then figured it out and either offed herself or they offed her because she was unwilling or whatever was kind of my interpretation as well. But also, I think you're right. I don't think that they moved in because they knew anything. But the fact that the apartment is free is because Giannoffrio is such a chatterbox that she was friends with the neighbor woman next door. And they were like, oh, don't talk to anybody outside. The neighbor woman's not in the thing.
See, I thought the neighbor woman, because she was making herbs from Minnie, that she was in on it, and then she wanted out, and they were like, no.
Oh.
And they hexed her with the coma.
Interesting.
Wow.
Conspiracies.
Well, now I'm confused.
I don't know.
So I don't even know if the death even works.
It does. I mean, she died. Well, she died because she was in the building. I mean,
she came in with the wrong grandparents.
That's right. She came with the wrong grandparents. Don't get so close to the windows in New York City.
She thought it was a sex thing, and then was like, "That's probably fine."
Yeah,
that's why she died.
Sex thing's fine, unless it's with Satan. Then, not so much. Not so much. Especially the Satan in this movie. He's got like, he's all scaly and hairy. He's got the weird eyes, the goat eyes. Like, ew, gross. Why couldn't you have been a hot Satan like in some of these movies?
Oh, God.
Jeez. Seriously. Where's Christian Bale Satan when you need him?
Christian Bale
Or Viggo Mortensen Satan. Viggo Mortensen Satan. They'd have been getting the chicks lined up, man. Mia Farrow would have been like, hey, better than John Cassavetes.
I'm going to go with Hutch. I feel like Hutch died because he called and he spoke to the husband first. He should have just gone and like been like, hey, like, it's so good to see you. I wanted to visit. Why don't you say that we get tea in the morning? Like, I found this lovely place down the street, keep it very idle or whatever, and like find an opportunity to get away from the husband. But the fact that he called and alerted the husband first, and the husband basically was overlooking the whole thing and then tricked her into telling him all the details. Hutch
it's actually that's on Rosemary. Because she told that she didn't like Hutch didn't know that she told the husband.
That's
Hutch
true.
was like, why don't you meet me at 10? All right. She hangs up and goes, by the way, husband, you know what I'm doing tomorrow? I'm meeting a guy at 10 outside of the building. And he was like, oh, well,
I
cool.
agree.
I'll be right back. I gotta get some smokes.
I agree that she's the one who ultimately puts the nail in the coffin, but I think if he had been more careful, he wouldn't have set up the situation that led to his downfall. And also keep track of your gloves, dude. Granted, you don't know that they're witches or whatever. But like, you know. So,
yeah, the witches were too wily. They were too wily for him, man. He was not.
He wasn't.
He did
prepared.
not come in. He was not prepared, man. He got in real deep, real quick.
Poor man.
Yeah.
Rip Hutch.
Poor.
I loved
Hutch. He was awesome.
Hutch was a good guy.
He was great the whole time.
Shit talker to the end.
I love the touch of the the personal item being taken away from people. I didn't catch that the first time upon first viewing, but I like that on the second one. Good touch. Also influenced another movie that was popular this past year, I think. Slightly.
What's that?
I can't say it because Ryan hasn't seen the movie. It might give it away.
Spoilers.
I bet I can put two and two together.
Nudge.
We won't talk about it. But maybe our listeners
Does it start
know
with
what
a
we're talking
W
about.
and ends with an Evans?
Spoiler alert, Ryan Ross live out here blowing things right and left. All right, well, there we have it. This is why you died, Rosemary's Baby.
You're like, this last year? And I'm like, what's the big ones last year that we haven't seen? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There's like the one.
There's the one.
Good movie, though. Good movie, though.
I still plan to see it. I've heard it's incredible.
Scully Awards, it's that time. Hallelujah. It's Scully time. Let's rate Rosemary's Baby, one of the most legendary horror movies of all time, an all-time classic. So it's going to be very interesting to see how high and or possibly low we rate this movie. Dan the Man Marcha Madness, this was your movie. What Scully rating do you give to Rosemary's Baby?
Well, I had already knocked it down half a skull because I was because of those scenes of over-explaining. I feel like we didn't necessarily need it all. I love what they were setting up beforehand. Let's let the audience kind of go along with her rather than having to spell it out again. So that was down. And then actually your opening and reminding me about how horrible Roman Polanski is knocks it down another half a peg too. So it's still up there. It's still way up there. So it's definitely a 9. It's a 9 for me. It's not. It could be perfect, but for those elements like Polanski being horrible and a horrible person just kind of knocks it down, and then also the kind of the over-explaining elements of some parts of the movie. But other than that, I mean, I love the storytelling of this movie. I love the way that it's shot. I love how it feels naturalistic. I love the subtle details on how it ramps up, and that ending does get quite scary when she's hiding from her husband and running around the house and discovering, like, it does really ramp up the tension, and I think it does it well to a good reveal. You know, very, very well acted. I think Mia Farrow's freaking incredible in this
She's
movie.
incredible in this.
Incredible.
Can we really quickly touch on, speaking of scary moments in Rosemary's Baby, can we please talk about the scene where she's on the phone trying to call her friend, and the people kind of go ding, 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 through the door behind her?
Oh yeah.
Like, how ahead of its time was that shot of you just going, how did they get in the house? And you obviously figure out later how they got in the house, but it's just one of those, oh, fuck moments. It's good. And
so good.
It's that, for me, it's that, and when she sees Rosemary's Baby for the first time and her reaction, the pulling back, the eyes getting big, and then screaming, "What have you done to his eyes?" It's just, That I literally got goosebumps saying it right now. It's so creepy. And I love that they don't show the baby. They just make her reaction is all that sells it.
Yeah. So good.
So I'll just continue going and just say I'm the same as you, Dan. Like the ending knocks it down a little bit. Polanski, I want to separate the art from the artist here, and that's not going to affect my critique of the film itself as just a complete piece. But I definitely think there's some pacing issues. I think it could have been chopped down by a few more minutes. It's a little long. There's some things they didn't need to do in it, but Polanski didn't edit it. He gave it to his editor to edit because he was like, I don't know how to get it shorter than 4 hours, and they chopped it down to this. And then the editor directed the sequel, which was not good.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I am going to give this a 9.5. It's an all-time classic. You don't get many horror movies better than this. It has a couple of like quibbly issues that I'm going to give with it, but it's a 9.5 from me. Ryan Ross Live, your first time watching Rosemary's Baby. Drum roll, please. What did you think? How many Scullys do you give to Rosemary's Baby?
Honestly, I was shocked at how well this movie stood up. I'm also at a 9. I thought that this movie was actually very creepy, and like the human elements feel very timeless, and it was you're very invested in how skeevy it feels, how you're like, oh god, like don't do that. Like it's the quintessential don't go in the basement vibe for the whole movie of like you're just so rooting for her, and you're just watching all these things fall down around her, and that's like. Despite the fact that it's over 60 years old, or I guess almost 60 years old, whatever.
Yeah,
it's
just shy.
It's very much still that feeling is still very poignant and very like present in the movie, and it's still very engaging. I was very surprised by how much I enjoyed it and how invested I felt in it. I also, to your point with the people jumping behind her on the phone, it feels so Scooby-Doo. It looks so Scooby-Doo.
Like, totally was.
I really like. I would love to see like a side-by-side comparison of the animations of them sneaking through the door and seeing like Scooby-Doo like doing like the because it just felt
cheeky Scoob. There's someone behind us. Yeah.
Very much felt like that because like as creepy as the moment is, it just looked very cartoonish. But yes, honestly, like it's shot well. The cinematography's cool. I thought the dream sequences, to your point, like some of them, like I didn't realize that it was JFK because that's just something that's like dated of like the era of. So I was like, why is there a boat and who are these people and how is this relevant to what's going on? But like the dream sequences feel cool in how they're shot in terms of like technique and stuff. The way that they seed audio cues in through the story is very well done. Like it's very, very detailed and planned out. And all of that still pays off despite its age.
Yeah, it's a technical masterpiece. I don't think there's anyone who's ever said anything otherwise about this movie. The music is timeless. The performances are incredible. It looks great. It's just a really, really fucking well-made movie and an all-time horror classic that's still creepy as fuck. Fuck that guy. All right, so Dan, with that, you are out of a prompt. You don't have a prompt. Reach for your bucket of the beast, and let's talk about what we have coming up on some of our next shows. I am sitting on a prompt right now. My prompt is deceit, and I will tell you what that's going to be next episode, I believe.
Next episode, baby.
Yes.
Wow.
And then, Ryan, you're going to tell us what you have in a moment here. What's the prompt you're sitting on right now?
Revenge.
Ooh,
not betrayal, which I had before, but revenge.
Right. I love that you have to go back to the well and do something similar but different.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I was like, betrayal, I had to be so careful of plot, and I was like, God damn it, revenge is the same thing, but I think I've got a good one, so I'm excited to share with you guys.
All right. I'm excited too. Dan Marcha Madness, you brought her on the DeLorean and you put it back there.
The DeLorean has been put back. The DeLorean is there, and it is. Oh my gosh! I think I just looked at it. The
DeLorean has spoken.
So let's see what it has. It has.
What prompt do you have?
I thought that's what I just saw. Cook. I have cook.
Ooh,
cook.
COOK. Cook. To cook. To cook something. To cook food? To cook a person?
Oh, no.
I don't know.
To cook a person. What a delicious.
I got to think about that.
Delicious
Maybe it's just a horror movie about food. I don't know.
I'm going to point out,
they exist.
like, If anyone ever thinks that these prompts are staged, I think the fact that we're getting like themed prompt lines of like Dan got cannibal and now he gets cook, and I got betrayal and now I get revenge. I promise this is just crazy.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
But that's actually, I like that. I like that because now he's probably not going to do a cannibal movie. He's forced to do something else because he had cannibal. And so that's going to give us a better spread. So this works out fabulously. And that means I'm very excited to hear what you have, not for betrayal, but for revenge. Ryan Ross Live, what are we watching for the next episode?
Well, guys, so I thought about it and I did a little research with my little Google horror search as I do.
Google search.
And I found some options. And the thing is, I found a movie that is, well, I would argue is one of the kind of staple horror movies of like, even as somebody who's not into horror, I've heard of this movie. I hear this movie referenced all the time. I know almost nothing about this movie except what I believe is the ending. If it's not the ending, there's like a very famous scene that is referenced a lot in this movie that I'm very excited to watch. But so for revenge, we're going to watch Carrie.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Wait, has your mom read this?
Yes.
I have no clue.
Oh my.
Not a clue.
God.
I'll ask her and I'll get back to you.
Please.
That's great. Oh.
Fantastic choice. Another classic. We're starting off the year with some classics. I love that. Well, good. We have a great one for the next episode. We had a great one for this episode. So that means everyone who's listening right now, come on back. We're doing Carrie next time. Thanks for sticking around and listening to us do Rosemary's Baby. Let's do some business on the way out, boys. Hit him with the links, Dan, if you would please.
You go to beacons.ai, TIWYD pod. Find all of our links where you can stream us, watch us on YouTube, check out our Patreon, and buy this hoodie. It's my favorite thing right now.
Yes. Or the beanie. Or the shirt.
Beanie's not. I went for my girl Mia Farrow. I wanted to show my haircut. She got a haircut in the movie.
That's true.
You know,
is that Vidal Sassoon?
It is Vidal Sassoon. Also, fuck Cassavetes, and he's all like, that was the worst decision you ever made, getting a haircut. Like, man, that guy.
Also, from the book, her getting the exact haircut and him hating it. They just like, he stuck to the book on this one. Ryan Ross Live, tell them what they get if they join our Patreon.
You get all sorts of perks on our Patreon. You get access to exclusive content. You get access to the extended editions. You get discounts on our merch. Or you can be a dedicated benefactor like our lovely CG.
Hey, CG.
Thank you so much, CG. And you get a shout out every show if you join our top dedicated benefactor tier. So check it out. And to thank you to all of our other Patreon supporters who are also active on the platform and support us there. All of that really makes a difference for us and helps us make bigger and better plans for the show. And we do have some checkpoints. I know we haven't called them out in a very long time, but if anybody is interested, we have checkpoints of different things that we can achieve if we get certain amounts of patrons.
Ooh.
So if we get every 25 patrons, we roll for another killer. I am still the killer currently of season 2. I get to veto or steal someone's prompt or choice from them.
Please tell everyone to join Patreon so we can get the killer off of him and give it to me.
It'll be more. We'll add killers to the mix. And at 100 patrons, we plan to look into live recordings so that we can record. As you can see, we're recording from the comfort of our homes right now on video. We chat with each other over video so that we can see and react. But obviously, there's nothing like being in a room with folks. So 100, we'd be looking into live recordings and broadcast them. And then at 250 would be being together in a room and actually doing it together there. So that's the goals. Wow. If anyone would like to help contribute, we've already got a couple people on the Patreon who are actively supporting those and helping us amp up the podcast with their support. So thank you guys so much for everyone who can.
Awesome.
Much appreciated. And Happy New Year. Happy Year 1.
Happy New Year.
And even if you can't,
celebrate.
Thank you guys for listening. We support you guys. We love you guys either way. All of you guys who are part of the community mean the world to us. So thank you.
Absolutely. Very much appreciated. We love you guys very much. Thank you so much. If you are a patron, stick around. We got more of our content right after this for our extended edition. But for all the rest of you, thank you so much for checking us out. Thanks for listening. For Ryan Ross Live, for Dan Marcha Madness, I am Sir Ian Dangerous. We will see you next time right here on
This Is Why You Die.